Imagine a single domino. It falls in a country you've never visited, among people you've never met. You think you're safe. But in a globalized financial system, distance is a lethal illusion. In 2026, we are seeing the same fracture lines. Banks that appear solvent but are tied by invisible threads of toxic debt and derivatives. Today, we deconstruct the 1931 Credit Contagion thesis, the moment when mathematics overrode hope, and the architects of the system realized that the only way to survive was to let the rest of the world burn. May 1931, Vienna. Austria's largest bank, Credit-Anstalt, announces a massive loss. To the common man, it seemed like a local tragedy. But Credit-Anstalt wasn't just a bank, it was the industrial heart of Central Europe. In that instant, the virus was released. It wasn't an armed invasion, but an attack of mathematical panic. International investors realized a brutal truth. If the pillar of Vienna could crumble, who was next? The contagion didn't care about borders, it only cared about liquidity. This is where the thesis takes hold. In finance, credit comes from the Latin credo, to believe. When belief vanishes, gold and currency evaporate, even if the numbers on the ledger remain. German banks began to shake. Then London. Why? Because of the network effect. In 1931, just like in today's DeFi protocols or commercial megabanks, everyone was borrowed to everyone else. When Vienna fell, it pulled Berlin down. When Berlin broke, it forced London to abandon the gold standard. It's what we call a liquidity spiral. Everyone tries to exit through the same narrow door at once, but the door is only designed for 1% of the crowd. Why does 1931 matter in 2026? Because the architecture is identical. Today, contagion doesn't travel via telegram. It travels via high-frequency trading algorithms. When a lending platform collapses or a regional bank faces a liquidity crunch, your local system feels the shockwave in milliseconds. The lesson of 1931 is that in a credit crisis, liquidity is king, and diversification is often a lie. In the face of a total collapse, the correlation of all assets becomes one. Everything drops together. The system of 1931 wasn't fixed. It was simply reset through suffering. In our next file, we analyze the moment when the state decided to confiscate hope itself. 1933 and Executive Order 6102. Until then, ask yourself, if the dominoes start falling tomorrow, are you tied to the rest of the line, or have you stepped out of the queue? Join the archive. Deconstruct the truth, ego, and empire.